Hello everybody and welcome to the Brewshow, the global travelogue series. Today we're in Dublin, Ireland during St. Patrick's Week Festival. Plus, we'll be visiting the Guinness Brewery and the Guinness Storehouse. Originally founded as a Viking settlement, Dublin has been Ireland's primary city for most of the island's history since medieval times. Today, it is an economic, administrative, and cultural center for the island of Ireland and has a fast-growing population. This population is well known to enjoy a good time. A cruise on the River Liffey is a good first step for exploring the city. We're here beside the River Liffey in the heart of Dublin. Welcome to Ireland. It's mid-March and on the calendar this week is the world-famous St. Patrick's Day. But here in Dublin, it's not just one day. It's a week-long festival celebrated right here in the capital city. And so we begin with a tour of the city during Festival Week. Here's Molly Malone, ready and willing to welcome all visitors to the festival. She stands just at the bottom of Grafton Street, styled in 17th century dress. Just around the corner from Molly is Dame Street, the financial center, where the people are already starting to put on the green. The Irish harp, national symbol of Ireland. You'll find one on every Irish euro coin and every glass of Guinness. Nice music, too. Dublin visitors will also find great shopping all over town. Grafton Street is home to great shopping centers, shops, restaurants, and pubs. Fresh flowers are on offer, and you'll always encounter the clever musical buskers along the way. Trinity College was founded in 1592 by Queen Elizabeth of England. Together with the University of Dublin, it forms Ireland's oldest university. Trinity is one of the 7 ancient universities in the English-speaking world and the only one outside the UK. It is ranked in the top 100 universities in the world and home to many wonderful and ancient books, including the Book of Kells. Fitzwilliam Square is a great example of Georgian architecture in central Dublin. It was laid out in 1792 and features many beautiful entryways and colorful doors. The Georgian period of development began with Britain's King George I in 1714 and ended with King George IV in 1830. Dublin is the perfect St. Patrick's Day pub town. So now let's visit the source of the beer. The St. James Gate Brewery here in the center of Dublin is where the world-famous Guinness Stout is produced. Arthur Guinness acquired this site in 1759 and signed a 9,000-year lease for the price of 40 Irish pounds a year. This turned out to be a great deal. The brand is so famous now, you can find Guinness Stout anywhere on planet Earth. Well, almost. Now let's talk to an expert and learn something about Guinness.
The main ingredient of Guinness is Irish barley, grown here in Ireland and malted by professional maltsters. Malting is the name we give to the treatment of the barley grain to make it suitable for brewing. Because Guinness is a unique beer in that it's dark, we roast some of the barley here in these roasting drums under carefully controlled conditions. And it is the use of a proportion of this roasted barley that gives Guinness its unique dark colour. If you hold a pint up to the light, you'll see that the colour is actually ruby red.
Plenty of ruby red happening here. You know, John has been with Guinness for over 40 years.
So here in the fermentation department, the hot hopped wort which we took from the brewhouse is chilled in the chiller here, given a feed of oxygen and put into these large fermenters where the yeast is added. The yeast ferments the sugars in the wort. It takes approximately 3 days. It turns the sugars into alcohol and gives off huge amounts of CO2 in the process. When the fermentation is finished, that is when the yeast has consumed all its food, the sugars in the wort, and it falls to the bottom exhausted, we remove the yeast by centrifugation and we store the best of the yeast in the yeast area over here. The surplus yeast is disposed of, and then the clarified beer is put into these large tanks outside where it's stored and matured before being blended into the sales gravity requirements of the marketplace. It's then dispatched on a daily basis, either in tanker or in keg, to our customers here in Ireland and worldwide.
Thank you very much, John. You know, right at the heart of the brewery buildings lies the Guinness Storehouse. It's Dublin's #1 visitor attraction. It's an incredible building, with the 7th floor being dedicated to the gravity bar. Up here, you'll get an almost 360-degree view of the city and a free pint of the black stuff. The storehouse is laid out over 7 floors surrounding a glass atrium that takes the shape of a pint of Guinness. The waterfall represents one of the 4 ingredients, which also includes barley, hops, and yeast. Visitors have the chance to sample the beer along the way with tasting info from an expert. There are also great culinary delights to discover in the Guinness Storehouse. Let's visit the executive chef for a recipe.
Okay, nearly there. Hello, welcome to the Guinness Storehouse. We're here on the 2nd floor kitchen. Today I'm going to cook you our traditional beef and Guinness stew. It would be our top seller here at the Guinness Storehouse. It's a very simple dish. We have an ounce of butter just to saute off the carrots, the parsnip, the diced onion and celery. We have some bay leaf, some rosemary and thyme just to flavour it through. For thickening our sauce we have a little bit of flour to make up the roux base, and of course our Guinness. And to finish off the sauce we have our dark brown stock.
Today the chef has selected a top sirloin.
We'll slice it up.
Most days, however, the chef would use a good stewing cut of beef.
Okay, now we're going to start to cook the beef stew. I'm going to warm my pot. I'll take the ounce of butter. Into the pot it goes. So in the pot we have our onions. take our diced beef. Again, seal that really well. This is where our flavours start to intensify. A little bit of salt and pepper. The salt will bring out the flavours of the beef, bring out the juices, and we'll reduce that. We're going to add a little bit of Guinness at the start and cook this throughout the stew for an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the toughness of the beef. At this point, I'm going to get the rest of the veg in. Our carrots, diced carrot, our diced parsnip, our chopped celery, a little bit of bay leaf, a sprig of thyme and rosemary. It seems an awful lot in there, but it's a real healthy dish. Plenty, put hairs in your chest. Plenty of beef, plenty of veg, plenty of nutrients. I have a half pint of Guinness here. We'll put in maybe a quarter of a pint of Guinness. And we'll reduce that a little bit. Keep it on a slow cook, a low heat. We have our Guinness reducing. We bring it down a little. We'll add in our flour, and then we'll add in our brown stock. So, again, don't worry about lumps. We have an hour and a half for this to cook out, so there should be no lumps of flour. As I said, it'll take an hour and a half for this to cook out, so no problems. Little bit more flour. Again, if it's 2 ounces of flour, if it's 2 ounces of butter, it will be 2 ounces of flour to a litre of brown stock. Quite simple. Our brown stock, roughly a litre. So as you see, it's all coming together now. Now again, we bring this back to life. A little bit of Guinness. Store it through, bring it back to the boil, and it's ready for service. And we'll serve that with some champ potato. Again, a champ potato, traditional Irish potato served at anybody's table on a Sunday, which is just mashed potato with cream, butter, salt and pepper, and chopped spring onion. This is our most popular product in the Guinness Storehouse in our restaurant on the 5th floor. We could sell anything from 100 portions a day to our banqueting, where we could sell up to 1,500 portions in any one day. And that's our beaten Guinness stew.
That is a great looking beef stew. It's an awesome recipe and just one of many. Now the day has arrived, so let's start the festival. It's St. Patrick's Day, and it's true, it is a lovely day for a Guinness. All right, get on board. We're heading up to the Gravity Bar. It's before opening on St. Patrick's Day. We're gonna meet up with Mark and learn about the perfect pint of Guinness. Okay, now we're here with Mark and we're gonna go through the precise 6 steps for that perfect pint.
Very precise. The first of these is actually the presentation. So this is a tulip-shaped glass, as you'll notice. The second step is actually the angle of the glass. It's very important that we have a 45-degree angle on the glass itself. And then we're actually ready to pour. So by pouring, pulling the handle towards us, we're going to fill it up, okay? Keeping the angle of the glass at all times. And as it starts to fill, we'll slowly straighten the glass up, like so, okay? I'm now going to leave this settle for about 119 and a half seconds. Very, very precise.
119 and a half. That's the critical moment, isn't it?
It certainly is. And you can see right in front here the surge, the cascade of the beer, okay? It's kind of, when you look at this, it's kind of almost what we call the tingle of anticipation, okay? When people wait for their Guinness, you're sitting at the bar on an evening out and you're waiting for that Guinness. You've got the thirst in your mouth if you're a Guinness drinker, and you're waiting for it to settle. So that's what we call the tingle of anticipation. So what we do is we wait for this period of time in order to fill it up. It's all about perfection, so we have to make sure we wait the necessary period of time. Never rush your Guinness, wait till it's ready, and then we're good to go.
I have to tell you, I'm tingling. It's the tingle of anticipation. It's with me right now. Okay, we'll be back after the 119 and a half seconds. Is that correct?
That's right, Jimmy.
Now we've waited the prescribed 119 and a half seconds. It's time for the fifth step.
It is, Jimmy, time for the fifth step. And the fifth step involves pouring it up to the top. As we try and present it like so, just proud as the rim, as we call it. We don't like overspill because that's quite sloppy.
And the sixth and final step is?
Yes, the final step is to make sure that we hand the Guinness glass to the customer with Guinness facing outwards towards the customer, perfectly presented and with no overspill, if at all possible.
Well, it looks great. I think I'm going to have to give in to the tingle of anticipation. Well, there it is, the perfect pint of Guinness here at the Gravity Bar. I'd like to thank Mark very much. Thanks, Mark.
My pleasure, Jimmy.
Now it's time to go out into Dublin and enjoy St. Patrick's Day. Man, I love those kids. They're what parades are made for. St. Patrick's Day is the annual Irish National Day celebration. It takes place every March 17th, which is the day that patron St. Patrick was held to have died. Patrick was born in Roman Britain and active in Ireland as a missionary during the second half of the 5th century.
Happy St. Patrick's Day!
Legend credits Patrick with banishing snakes from the island, among other accomplishments. It's very clear, in any case, that he can be credited with the creating of a carnival atmosphere all over Dublin in the middle of March.
Oh, I feel so important. Hello, how are you? Hey!
St. Patrick is not the only well-known Dubliner. This city has a world-famous literary history, having produced many prominent literary figures. As the birthplace of William Butler Yeats, George Bernard Shaw, and Samuel Beckett, Dublin has produced 3 winners of the Nobel Prize for Literature, more than any other city in the world. Of course, we can't forget Oscar Wilde, Jonathan Swift, Roddy Doyle, and James Joyce, the author of Ulysses. Here's the parade Grand Marshal.
Can't hear you.
And I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce his name. That is one great parade. After which, it's always nice to pop into a warm pub and enjoy a Swiftie with your friends. In the city center, you can cross from north to south over one of the many Dublin city bridges, including the Halfpenny Bridge. It was built in 1860 over the River Liffey. Up until 1919, there were turnstiles on either end where a toll of 1/2 penny was charged to cross, giving the bridge its name. It's free today and very busy. The pedestrian bridge spills right into one of the cultural neighborhoods known as the Temple Bar. It's one of the best pub areas in the whole city of Dublin. And it's the perfect place to kick off the evening festivities of St. Patrick's Day. Well, here we are, back at the Gravity Bar. It's the same bar where we learned how to pour the perfect pint with Mark. The only big difference now is that it's full of festival goers and some great music. Traditional Irish music is one of the best cultural experiences you can have in Ireland. And there's no better time to enjoy it than at the St. Patrick's Day Festival. The Gravity Bar on St. Patrick's Day is a Dublin must. Don't forget to get to the Guinness Storehouse and take the elevator up to the 7th floor to collect your free pint. With guitars and fiddles and mandolins and pipes, it's a party that definitely won't let you down. In Gaelic, there's a great way to describe all this fun. It's the crack. Now I think we should just sit back and let the music do the talking. Well, that's our look at Dublin and Guinness. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Brewshow. Cheers!